Hello and welcome back to Focus Atlanta. Thanks so much for continuing to watch. In this segment, we're going to learn a little bit about forever chemicals. I'm here with Dr. Mercola.
Glad to be here. Thanks for having me.
You are giving me a wealth of education. I gotta, admit, I've never even thought about the chemicals on the plastics and things that we use. Can you start from the beginning and give me a
Well,
little
sure.
history?
Sure. You initially invited me to discuss PFAS or PFAS, which is the forever chemicals. And they're definitely a problem and they cause a lot of issues. And, where are they? They're making the news. They're a real problem. They're in nonstick pans. They're in stain resistant clothing. They're firefighting foam and personal care products. And here's the key. Half of American tap water is contaminated with them. And they're called forever chemicals because they don't break down. But what do? You're going to love this. Well, maybe not. They increase heart disease by about 45%. They double your risk of breast cancer. Serious problems, right?
How do we not know about this? Like, how are we just having these conversations? These are everyday things that you're mentioning. It's not like stuff we may use here and there. I use those pots and pans every day, Doctor.
Yeah. Well, you want to be careful, but there's something, believe it or not, it's bad enough, right? There's something that's 10 times worse. Something you can't escape.
Okay.
Plastics. Tiny plastic particles that are now inside every single human being on the planet. Forever chemicals, they're 97% of us. Plastics, 100%. Every single person ever tested. They're in your blood, they're in your brain, they're in your heart, they're in your lungs. And you probably heard of the New England Journal of Medicine, the most prestigious medical journal on the planet. Well, they had a study and they showed that people with these plastic particles in their arteries had a 450% increased risk of heart attack, stroke, or death.
Now, what do we do? Because to your point, the things that you're mentioning are things that we use absolutely every day. Is there a way for us to check? Like, what should we be doing?
Well, there are some tests that check. There are actually some newer tests that are coming out to even get a further refinement of that. But for some simple things you can do for other chemicals, you can get a good water filter. You can throw out your nonstick pans. You can avoid stain-resistant clothing. That helps. But plastic, that's much harder. Most people think when you get plastic, you're in your body, you're going to get from plastic bottles or food containers, and that's part of it. But here's what almost nobody knows. Most of the plastic in your body comes from the very air you breathe.
Wait a minute.
Yes.
So what you're saying, I'm kind of feeling, are you saying that we can't avoid this?
Yeah, essentially every breath you take brings plastic into your body.
Well, okay, now I know that you also are an author of a book. Is the book going to help us to do better? Like, is there anything that can give us directives to live a better life?
Yes, absolutely. And that's why I'm here today, because for the first time ever, you can finally remove them from your body. It's never been possible before. I spent years researching this problem, talked to scientists, looked at the data, and I found something that actually works. My new book is called The Microplastic Cure, and it references over 500 recent scientific studies. Now, inside this book, I laid out a simple, natural protocol to help your body not only get rid of plastic particles and forever chemicals, but also heavy metals like lead and mercury. And it's based on science, but I wrote it so that anyone can understand it.
Now, Dr. Mercola, I got to say, you should have led with that because you had me freaking out over here.
Well, that's a nice problem. Then we have the solution.
Excellent. Well, can I get a website so that we can, learn a little bit more, perhaps get the book from,
yeah, well, the solutions are inside the book. There's a QR code. You can scan it with your phone and it walks you through exactly what to do, step by step, no guessing, no confusion. You don't need to be a doctor. You don't need to understand biochemistry. You don't need to spend hours researching. You just follow the simple steps. It's easy for you. It's easy for your family. You can start today. And the book, the website is Amazon. You just go there. It's in pre-order now. It'll be out shortly. And this is the first time in history we've had a real solution to this problem.
Oh my gosh. Thank you so much for coming on the show. Thank you for keeping us educated and healthy. It was a pleasure to meet you.
Well, thank you so much. Appreciate it.
Absolutely. All right, guys, you don't have to panic like I was. I was literally over here. I felt my heart rate going. You don't have to panic. There is a book coming. We
Yes.
can learn. We can do better. Take the opportunity to visit Amazon, get the book, and stay tuned for more Focus Atlanta. We'll be right back.